O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge, just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hashtag no music, no intro. We are in the smack dab of the middle of just deadness going on in the NFL. There's nothing going on in the NFL, but I've been noticing, man, whether through text message or your tweets, like these things they've been on your mind, Ryan. Like you just I don't know what's been setting you off about them, but you have had some thoughts about the New Orleans Saints. So I'm not even talk that much. Like I won't let you talk. Like what's going on? Like what you gotta say about the Saints?
No, man. I don't know. It's just like I was laying here like 6 o'clock this morning, waiting on the alarm to ring, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, it's like, what are they doing right now? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why am I sitting here at 6 a.m. thinking about the New Orleans Saints? Like, are they even thinking about the New Orleans Saints right now?
Doesn't seem like it.
Probably not. You know what I'm saying?
Before like a couple of days before the draft, Sean Payne was out there golfing. So
golfing and shit, man. It's like, it just, I don't know. I guess it just, it all, like, it's starting to all just kind of come together. I mean, draft is over, free agency is over, Drew's gone. You know, they made the cuts, the salary cap management they had to do. Like, for the most part, this is the 2021 Saints that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
they're gonna be a few additions here and there going forward, but this is it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is what y'all do, like post Breeze. Like, this is the plan. Like, what are y'all doing, man? It's, and it could just be, look. I am a fan. I know how. Like I've said, we've said before. You know, I'm disconnected, and you know, I'm not a fanatic like I used to be. But it's still a team I care about. You know, I invest a lot of. We got a podcast about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a team I invest a lot of my mental energy in. And, I think about a lot. And plus, just I'm interested. Overall, I'm interested in team building and, building championship teams and, what teams go through to do that. And I'm just looking at the Saints. It's like, it's just a big question mark, man. It's like, what are y'all doing? It's like,
where's the vision? Like, what is the vision?
What's the vision here? What's the vision? Like, if it feels like, okay, they drafted 2 running backs and another guard, and look, they're about to just ground and pound this thing, and that's their plan. Regardless of what you think of that, I'd be like, okay, that's the plan. Or they drafted, a wide receiver and, a pass catching running back and a tight end, and, or they signed another tight end or something like that. It's like, okay, that's their plan. They're about to air it out. Or maybe they went all defense. They're just going to build a stout defense. But I just don't know. I look at what they've done. I mean, you lost the cornerback. You haven't filled that in. You really haven't addressed linebacker. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. But even if you like Pete Warner, even if you like him, like, is he a starter? You know what I'm saying? Like,
he was taken 60th overall, like 60th in the draft, Ryan. Like, he better be started.
I mean, Luke Kuechly went what, 11th overall, 9th overall?
He went, like 9th or 11th, something like that.
Something like that. Like, he went high for a linebacker. And, I mean, shit, he was a weak side linebacker his first season. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I mean, you asking Pete Werner to come in next to DeMario and just be the man? Like, I mean, I don't know.
I think, I mean, who is it going to be Zach Bond? Like,
he's going to have to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the whole point. It's like, he's going to have to be. they lost so many players, due to the cap, and individually, you could say, okay, this player's replaceable. But when you add them all up, like who we lost? Trey Hendrickson, Sheldon Rankins, Quan Alexander due to injury. Who else we call? Janoris Jenkins, Malcolm Brown,
Josh Hill.
Just so many players that just
and whatever you want to say about him,
Emmanuel Sanders.
And whatever you want to say about him, I know as Saints fans he was highly fucking annoying. I mean, they also lost Jared Cook, and I get it. Get it, but people are. We talked about it on the show before. Like, people are thinking, Big Fish, Adam Troutman, who had 15 catches next year, is gonna just. That's a huge projection. It's a huge projection.
Huge projection, man. It's like, okay, we got rid of like 2,000-3,000 snaps, and didn't really replace those snaps. You know what I'm saying? And teams do that, and it happens. And who knows? Maybe the young guys step up, but it's like, I'm just like, what is the vision, bro? Like, I can't wrap my hand about it, and I just feel like, is this the plan y'all had? Like, we knew Drew Brees was year to year since 2017. The team knew, and it's like you didn't have a plan in place to be like, okay.
It's so weird because so they kind of did, right? Like, they were going to draft Pat Mahomes. That didn't work out. And then
they've tried. Okay, they've tried. I give them that.
So that was the original plan. If that would have worked out, bro, we would be on cloud nine right now, because I think the Saints would have at least have won one Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
But so that didn't work out. And then last offseason, before Drew decided to come back, like, it was like, well, shit, if Drew retires this year, then we'll just go sign Tom Brady.
Right.
May have won the Super Bowl. That's an all-in move. That's not for the future. But may have won a Super Bowl last year if they had signed Tom Brady. Maybe. We don't know. And now, and then he comes back, and then it was like, oh, we got Jameis. Like, I don't know, man. Teams don't get lucky enough. Like, it doesn't happen often where it's a cult situation. Peyton to Andrew Luck, Green Bay, Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Like, that's so few and far between. But man, it just, and I think the team, like, if you ask Sean Payton what he feels of this team, to me, they were, and it was reported numerous times, like, they didn't do it because the cost was too high, but they were willing to trade into from 28 to the top 10 to draft a cornerback.
Yeah.
Like, so that would bye next year's first round draft pick. And to me, that says, like, if they feel like the team is like a corner away from being like top of the NFC. And I was like, so, I mean, that the team's kind of like, they've shown you that, right?
Right.
And it's like, this team is a corner away.
Yeah, it's like, what? But at the same time, they're also willing to draft Mac Jones to get in front of the Patriots. It's like,
no vision, bro. Like, it's like, all right, like, well, if we go into the top 10, like, we'll draft corner away. But if you draft Mac Jones, like, that completely, to me, says something completely different, right? That's a rebuild. Maybe not even a rebuild. It just means that maybe you feel like you have talent in place, but, like, you're just going to have a different quarterback at the helm.
Right.
I don't know. Like, they are just all over the place. They're just so finicky. Like, that's the annoying part, right?
And it's like, I would have liked them to just do something and commit to it. Like, if it's Jameis, okay, it's Jameis, flood Jameis with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And just go, like, give him the most minimal amount of excuses to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure he does not fail. Get a backup guard, go get a tight end, however you can, trade, whatever. Go get another wide receiver to go with Mike Thomas. Like, just make sure he does not fail. You know what I'm saying? If he fails, it's on him. You know, but it's not like that's not what they did. Or if it's if you want to go defense, then go to defensive route. But you let Janoris Jenkins go when they basically decided he wasn't worth $11 million. Like that's what they did.
Which is crazy because like we've seen them do cap gymnastics. Like
Right.
they could have figured something up where they gave him like a 2-year contract extension that was only like they could have done that. They chose not to.
They chose not to. They chose not to for whatever reason. Maybe he's he's in a over 30. Maybe they looked at some of his snaps and said, just not worth the cost. But then you're going to trade up. They was willing to trade up and give up like future first to get Patrick Surtain, or it's like what's going on here?
Throwing darts, bro. I feel like they're just throwing darts.
I was sitting thinking about all that shit this morning, man. I was like, what are these dudes doing, man? Like, who is running this thing? I know Sean Payton's running it, but like,
is it Jeff? Like, we don't know, man. Like, it's what's so funny is that I listen to around the NFL podcast and listening to Greg Rosenthal, who hopefully can come on the show next week. Like wax poetically about Calvin Ridley, and then it just dawned on me, and I tweeted it, and it got more likes or whatever than I imagined it. But like the Saints really just passed on Calvin Ridley and just drafted Marcus Davenport, bro. Like Calvin Ridley's like a legit top 15 wide receiver in the league right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. And I was texting with Underhill about it, and he was just trying to say like, hey, I mean, they had too much talent to just like blow it up and start over. Which I understand that it's like you got like some top notch talent. Like why waste that?
I mean, Mike Thomas, top 5 wide receiver when healthy. Alvin Kamara, to me, he's the best running back in the league. And Ryan Ramczyk, who is top-notch, probably best right tackle in football. If he's not the best, top 3. Yeah. Like, those are cornerstones. And whatever you say about Marshawn and Marcus, they kind of have the same gripes about them. Like their talent for how young they are is indisputable. Like you can't argue how talented they are, even though they may not be consistent. So that's 5 players, just 5 players that are 3 of those. Well, I would say 3 of those are elite at their position,
and the others are potential elite. You know what I'm saying?
So that's. It's just weird, and Steve Weiss may have he kind of maybe told us when he was on around the NFL podcast, he was like maybe just do like a little reset. But then I was like, but do you do like a reset, like you just take the year off or what? Not year, but like just take it off, but you don't do that if you're trying to trade into the top 10 for a cornerback. Like that's not a reset though.
Exactly, because if you did that, then you wouldn't have had no ammunition to go get Russell Wilson next year, whatever. And on top of that, it's like next year, let's say this year's a reset year, and next year you're gonna go and make a big move for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers or whatever.
Whoever.
I mean, Teron Armstead is gonna be a year older.
Can't.
Demario Davis is going to be 33. You haven't extended Ramczyk or Lattimore or Marcus Williams.
And Breer tweeted this morning, the Saints have the least amount of cap space in the NFL, like $300K.
Not even $1 million, bro. Dude's got 401K more than Saints cap space, bro. Niggas 401k hit more. Niggas cryptocurrency balance did more than like come on, man. Come on.
You got NFTs out here with more value.
NFTs and shit. And meanwhile, like Saints cap is not like they're out of cap hell next year. They have like 30 players cost like 200 million of cap space next year for the Saints. 30 players. That's all they have next year. 30 players that'll sign.
Which
so
happens when you kick the can down the road. Like the Bills do.
And that's the thing. Like this has been my view for like 10, like since we gave Drew his first extension. I was like, look, when Drew Brees leaves, if they don't have a quarterback in place, it's gonna be darkness. It's gonna be darkness for a year or two because they are gonna have to swallow the cap. How they've kicked the can down the road, they're just gonna have to swallow it. And I was fine with that. But it's like they're not doing that. They're kind of in the middle with it's kind of like, oh, we're gonna, we're not
going to straddle the line.
It's straddling the line, and that's like one of the worst feelings, bro. It's like you're not. If it was just dumpster fire, like this year they dumped all their bad contracts. They signed, Ramchick, Lattimore, and some of the good players, but dumped their bad contracts and just said, you know what, we just got to swallow the pain. Next year, we're gonna have drafts, we're gonna have cap space, we're gonna have draft picks, and we're gonna try to rebuild this thing and bounce back in a year or two. But okay, it sucks for now, but that's what we're doing. But it's like they're not. It's like they're kind of showing that they're all in, but at the same time, they're not really all in. I just hate that feeling because it just screams like 9-8. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, bro.
Like a 9-8 season.
We went through the schedule. We gave them 10-7, like that.
It felt right. It just felt right.
It did.
And who knows? Like I tweeted that, like the dream scenario, like if Saints were to win a Super Bowl this year, what would have to happen? What would have to happen? I mean, you have to answer that question. Like, okay, this team, what would have to happen? Okay, me personally, right. I think the offense would have to be great.
Yeah, like Jameis would need to be. Man, I can't even think of like a description that. I don't know. Like Jameis would need to be stellar, right? Like stellar is the first thing. 2 firsts would need to basically act like he was Trey Hendrickson last year in a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
And just put up double-digit sacks, be healthy. Cam Jordan would have to look like Cam Jordan of like 2017, 2018. Like I want that Cam Jordan that remember the Cowboys game on Thursday Night Football that that game was out of hand and Dallas was going in to score and he beats the right tackle, forces Zeke to fumble and he recovered the fumble. Like that, he needs to make plays like that again. Like that's the Cam Jordan that would have to show up. And honestly, and this seems like the biggest reach of them all, Paulson Adebo would need to come in as a rookie and play like Tracy Porter did.
Oh, that's a lot.
and like we're not even talking about like Adam Troutman, taking steps. Like Deontay Harris, like not.
Yeah, like the offense would have to be unlocked. Like it would have to be Jameis Winston going downfield, unlocking Tre'Quan Smith. Tre'Quan Smith finally catching over 30 passes,
and he doesn't get hurt.
It would have to be Deontay Harris like shining downfield. It would have to be Mike Thomas. Returning to form, catching, 120 balls, going downfield. Beasting, it had to be Alvin Kamara staying healthy all year, going crazy. I mean, everything would have to come together. Everything, including James, which is the number one question. Like, Jameis would
No.
have to play like he's never played before.
Like, I think if Jameis take one of like Matt Stafford's like pretty good seasons in Detroit,
Yeah,
but like everything else in Detroit went to shit like it always does.
yeah.
Like Jameis needs one of those seasons, right?
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
where he's viewed as I don't even think he needs to be like a top 10 quarter, but he needs to be like a top 15-ish quarterback.
I was listening to New Orleans Football podcast, and they had Mike Triplett on there, and it really brought up a good point. It kind of reminded me the offense was horrible last year. Like it was
Oh,
really bad.
it was
Like
bad, bro.
we covered it on this podcast. Like we talked about how just hard it was to move the ball. It was like excruciating.
Yeah,
Like
man.
a Sean Payton offense was like excruciating to watch because it's
Slow, like
uh,
methodical, like ugh.
5 yards at a time, mistakes. Just
I think
oh
Sean really feels like, and right or wrong, we're gonna see. But I think he feels that with him having Jameis having an arm that's going to unlock part of some of the offense that hasn't been there. And I get it, and I
yeah,
100% get it. But like I feel like that's still, like you said, if that's what it is, which is fine, just give Jameis the weapons. Like
right.
you're banking on him, like Mike Thomas. Yeah, cool. But like, what about everybody else? Jameis gonna be throwing to Marquez Callaway, like, and this is where I get so. I'm glad I'm working a lot, so I don't really get time to like really be on Twitter a whole bunch. But like man, Saints fans, like, what are these bloggers they be wearing, bro? Like, I don't get it. Like, you show me like some tweet of some dude. He posted a video like Marquez Callaway against like the fucking Lions. It
Yeah,
was like he's gonna
dude,
be
a
a stud.
on my life, he gonna be a stud. I'm like, bruh. Like, and it was a great catch. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, bruh, like what? Like what are you're asking a UDFA from Tennessee to be like a stud wide receiver, like with Jameis throwing to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like we kind of tap into reality a little bit. I know like people, oh, it doesn't matter where you drafted. Look at Pierre Thomas and Marcus Costa and all that. Outliers. All of them are outliers.
Yes,
And maybe Marcus Callaway is an outlier. I don't know.
Victor Cruz,
Yeah,
Arian Foster's. We get it. Like, we're not dumb, right? But historically, it doesn't happen.
it doesn't happen. And
Or else teams will be drafting quarterbacks in the 5th round every year, and they turn into Tom Brady. That doesn't fucking happen.
right, yeah, Tom Brady's a 6th round. Okay, like yes, we get it. It does happen very rarely, very rarely. So I don't know, man. It's like you got to take the blinders off, man. Like just look at the team for what it is right now. I'm not saying like I'm trying not to be a negative name. I'm not a negative Nancy. Like I am not. I'm really not a negative Nancy. Like I like to look at the positives, but just looking at this team, it just gives me a big question mark, like a big shrug. If I wasn't a fan, just looking from the outside, that's how I'd be. I'd just be like, man, what are they doing? What the
No,
fuck they doing over there, man?
no clue, bro.
You know
No, I don't know. Like, and that's the thing. Like, it's so funny because after the draft happened, and it's like I texted you. Like sometimes I'll just be, and I haven't thought about the Saints intently since the draft, but sometimes like I text, like I'll just be thinking like these niggas really drafted Pete Warner in the 2nd round, bro.
And I've seen so many tweets the last 2 weeks of he's where he's supposed to be. I can't think of a phrase that pisses me off more, man. Like that phrase, it really burns me up. It just brings me back to Scott Shanley. Like that's what like Jeff Duncan and shit used to say when we'd be criticizing Shanley. He'd be like, "Look, Scott Shanley's a solid linebacker. He's always where he's supposed to be." I don't give a fuck about that shit. It's
Right.
so you tell me he's supposed to be 20 yards downfield? Like, it's like that
Hey.
doesn't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then
oh my god.
it goes back to the whole vision thing, right? Like what's the vision of this team? Because you draft, and we talked about this after the draft, but just goes back to like what like the team. I don't even feel like the team knows where they what their vision is, because you draft I was about to call him Scott Scanlon. You draft P. Warner in the second, 60 overall, and then the year before you drafted a linebacker, an edge rusher, and
Yeah.
moved him to off-ball linebacker in the third round. So, like, what's the vision? Like, that's the question that we keep asking, and like people feel like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like these
And they
project.
and they always say the same thing. Like, that's why I mean you just got to throw that shit out. Every time you listen to the draft, they're like, look, we have a vision for this player. Listen, we have a vision for this player. Sean Payton said the exact same thing about Stanley Jean-Baptiste when he was drafted. Go and find it. Like, you can go listen to the audio. Look, we have a vision for Stanley Jean-Baptiste. He's big, he's long. He's gonna play press man and blah 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 blah. No, like, I don't care what your vision is. Is he good? Is
Yeah,
that a good player?
that's it. Can he cover? He could not. He could not.
He couldn't. He's not. I don't. Maybe he's out the league. I'm sure he is. I don't know.
Yes, he is 100% out of the league.
So I'm like, man, I need that. So I'm just hoping. I just waiting for them to do something, man. Like, I know after June 1st, maybe they'll get Richard Sherman. I feel a little better about the defense if they get a veteran in there. I don't think the defense is going to be stout this year, but I think with the pieces they do have, they could be a solid defense. I don't think it'll be a dumpster fire defense or anything like 2015 or something like that. They have enough talent, C.D. Deuce and defensive line and DeMario and Marshawn and all that to be a solid defense. But if you're just gonna be a solid defense, this is an offensive league, bro. Y'all got to come out
Man.
slinging that motherfucker. And then I look at the pass catches and I'm just like, ugh. Like, Adam Trout, y'all gonna keep showing me that gif of that little jerk route Adam Trout would do. Like, come on, man. Like,
Wear that shit out, bro. Wear it out.
and I like Adam Trout. I liked him as a prospect. But it's like, without visioning him, I didn't vision him as like this number one George Kittle. You know what I'm saying? I envisioned him as like, oh, that's a solid tight end to come in, maybe give you 400 or 500 yards, make some key plays, some good blocks.
Yeah, like a solid tight end 2.
Right. Exactly. Like with Jared Cook, if Jared Cook was like, had his head together, that'd be a nice little tandem. You know what I'm saying? But it's just he's the one. Vanette got this
Nick Bennett. Don't forget about Nick Bennett.
Like, what is this supposed to be, man? And
like I said, bro, like I said it, I think before the free agency or whatever, but like maybe we should have brought back Dan Arnold back, bro.
Dan Arnold, bro. I'll be looking for that.
That's when you know shit's bad, bro. Like when I'm saying like maybe they should have brought back Dan Arnold, like shit is dire. Dire.
It's gonna be interesting though, because one thing Mike Triplett said was like, when he was watching Jameis at camp last year, he said, like, since he's been covering these Saints under Sean Payton, he's never seen a Saints quarterback just go downfield like Jameis did. Like, just naturally, he wanted to go downfield. He's not about that check down shit or none of that. He's just like risking a biscuit.
I'll be about to be pissed, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does that work? Like, on the screen passes, maybe Eric Kamara not gonna catch 81 passes this year.
Nope.
Like, he's just not.
Nah.
But maybe he catches 50 that are more. Maybe they get him because remember the last 2 years he hadn't really been involved in like the route concepts as much as he used to. Like
Right. And
so
probably that a
maybe
lot was Drew's arm.
yeah, like Drew he was the safety valve for Drew Brees.
Right.
So any you just watch it. He's just out to the sideline waiting on Drew in case and Drew throw it to him. He gets his couple yards and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he'll get downfield a little more. So you can see some big plays happening with that. Look, it can work. I'm not even saying it can't work. It can work, man. Like he could unlock some things in Mike Thomas, like slants. Put slant boy to rest. He gonna hit his double moves. And
it might become slant and go boy, bro.
Let go. You know what I'm saying? Sluggo scene. Let's go. And that could work. That could very well much work. But it's like, man, I'm just not seeing it. Like it's like I gotta squint hard to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Hard, bro.
And for me to believe it, I have to like put on the rosy shades like every other Saints fan. Just think the Saints fans think everything's gonna work. Everything's gonna work. There won't be any injuries. Everybody's gonna have their best season. Cesar Ruiz is gonna be a stud guard.
Oh my God, bro! I texted you when I was coming home. I said, and this might be hyperbole, so I'll preface it by saying this, but I honestly think Larry Warford's last year with the Saints at guard may have been better than Cesar Ruiz's rookie season. Like,
I don't think that's hyperbole, bro.
Like, I don't know what these Saints fans are thinking. Like, they need to go back and like watch some snaps of Ruiz's rookie season. They were bad, bruh. Bad. And we know it because we talked about it. But he was just getting beat. Where's Nick Easton? Can we get Nick Easton back?
Oh my God. Please. But then it's like, what do you do? Like Greg Rosenthal talked about it on his projected starters article. It's like
thank I talked to Greg. See, he made sure he didn't take that from us or some of our tweets. But I saw it too. I was like, either Greg's watching our tweets or
but he talked about it like it's like, what do you do? Like you're gonna take Eric McCoy, who's been playing great at center.
Dumb. Like I see this on Twitter so much, Ryan, and it makes me. I was like, you're gonna take a guy at center who was probably top 5 to 8 player at center, maybe higher. Yeah. I don't know, right?
Right.
And you're gonna move him just to justify the Ruiz pick. Like so, then you're gonna bank on Ruiz actually being good at center, and like I said before, his issues weren't positional. He was just getting out, like he was just getting beat. Like I don't care where you are on the line, like where you are doesn't fix that. Right. And then you're gonna move Eric McCoy back or move him to guard, and again another projection in hopes that he works out at guard. Why?
I just shake my head, man. Where is the vision?
Again, it goes to the point. Why are you drafting a guard or a player who played center in college, and why? Like when you drafted a center like the year before or 2 years or whatever. Like
he played center in college. It wasn't like he was a guard and then he spent some time at center. He was a center. Like that's what he played in college. You know what I'm saying? Like even Baldy talk about it. You go back and listen. Like he played like maybe a few snaps at guard, but it was like he was a center.
He was a center.
The body built for it, you know? I mean,
and it goes back to our whole thing. Like what's the vision? And I kind of know what went down in regards to the whole situation. You know, when Ruiz was drafted, because the Saints were banking on drafting Justin Jefferson, right? And the Saints getting sniped for players seems to be like a theme these last couple of years, bro.
God. What the fuck? For a team that just loves to trade up, too.
But when there's elite talent, and I the only thing I didn't evaluate Justin, I liked him as a player. I like the Eagles pigeonholed him to be a slot receiver, which the Saints could have used, right? But and that's the reason the Eagles didn't draft him, because they thought he was good in the slot, but they didn't see him outside. So that's why they took Jalen Reagor over him. Like, that is known knowledge, right? Which also tells you, just like when we evaluate talent as humans, teams also fuck up people. Like, and the logic can be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So the plan lost last offseason. Can't reveal who this came from. The plan lost offseason was they were going to sign Joe Thuney, who was a free agent from the Pats. They did not expect him to get franchise tag.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, like, the Patriots kind of unexpectedly franchise tagged Joe Thuney.
Yeah.
So and then, like, people were like, is he going to get traded? Blah, blah. And he played under the tag last season, whatever. Now he's with fucking Chiefs because of course he fucking is. So they want to that's how they were going to fix the guard problem. They were going to sign Joe Thuney to a lot of money. He was going to be the guard. I don't know if they were going to bring Pete back, but it was going to be some type of combination. McCoy at center, Joe Thuney, and the plan going into that draft potentially was drafting Justin Jefferson, right? So then he gets sniped a couple of picks before them by the Vikings, because of course it fucking would. And then it sounds like, again, they didn't really have like a good plan in case he got drafted. Like, and so it's like, oh, well, let's go with the next highest player on our board. Cesar Ruiz. Okay. All right. And it just goes back to like I said earlier, like you said it, like, just think about the players that have been sniped in front of the Saints for a team that loves to trade. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, we don't know if he's going to be good, but Terrace Marshall Jr. But yet, Sean will be petty and trade like a draft pick to draft fucking Tommy Stevens, make sure he doesn't go to the Panthers. Like, they get on my nerves.
That Terrace Marshall shit, like, that was funny. Because it's like
these niggas plotted like, a year.
Just like, Carolina's sitting in front of you. Joe Brady knows the kid.
He does.
So it's like, if you want him, like, go get him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, move up 2-3 spots. It's like, come on, man. You got to play the draft board, man. It's like
they were willing to, and this worked out, right? They traded a future second-round pick to the Niners so they could get a third, because they kept their third and got the 49ers third to draft Alvin. So I don't know how but I'm saying let's go back to like this year's draft. Say it was Peyton Turner, Terrace Marshall, like, let's say it's instead of Pete Warner, that is Terrace Marshall. I feel like as a draft, as fans, again, we don't give two shits about LSU. We're just talking about weapons, right? You feel a lot better about the offense and about the draft in general if that happens, right?
A lot better.
But we got Pete Warner.
And it's funny because I looked at Terrace Marshall as like a rich man's Traquan.
It's so funny because when you made that analogy, I was like, man, that is beautiful. that is
right. So it would have just fit perfectly with Jameis and all that shit. And it's like, oh man, come on, bro. And what's crazy, I didn't even love like Terrace Marshall. I didn't
love him, but like you watched him, he was like,
okay,
he's a good player. I can see the vision of him in the offense. He can make plays. I kind of saw him of like, and if he turns out to be this, I kind of saw some, maybe it's the LSU thing, some Jarvis Landry in him, but like more explosive. And Jarvis Landry has been a damn good receiver in the fucking league, bro. Like,
hell yeah.
Like, that's something you take all day, and but but we trying to trade up to into the top 10 to.
I guarantee you, Terrace texted Joe Brady and said, "Saints about to draft me." Like Saints about to draft me, and then Joe said, "Man, look, Saints about to draft Terrace. We need to get him." I'm telling you, man, that's how that
Would,
shit work.
wouldn't be shocked at all, bro. Wouldn't be shocked at all. Not even a
Uh,
little bit.
like,
So so then I guess my question is, and this is why I texted this to you a couple of days ago, like preseason, and I don't know how much we're gonna see, but this is gonna be the most fascinating preseason the Saints have had since '06.
oh man, so fascinating because there's a QB battle. I
No,
just
man.
hope I
Let's be
know,
real.
but I just hope Sean Payton doesn't do this stupid. We're gonna wait till week 1 to find out who the quarterback is. Like, look, there's a very limited amount of snaps that go around in training camp at quarterback. After like after the first preseason game, we should know. Like, come
Yes.
on, like don't play. Like you should know because they only have 3 preseason games this season. The second one is basically the third, what used to be the third preseason game where you have your starters out there and shit like that. So that shit should be wrapped up. Like, don't play around with it with all these games. But Sean Payton, I know he's going to try to go to week 1 without Green Bay knowing who's the starting quarterback is.
Yep.
I know he is. I know
Just like you did when fucking Drew got hurt last year.
Exactly. I mean, I'm sure it'll get leaked out.
Yeah, like Diana leaked that shit out like what, Friday?
Right. It'll get leaked out, but he's gonna try to keep that shit secret. That shit's fucking annoying, man. Like, if Jameis was your starter, just roll with it, bro. Like, roll with the shit.
Yeah, just embrace it.
Embrace the shit, man. Like, roll with it. That's the starter. Like, there's no gaming shit that needs to be had. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the fucking starter.
Shit,
We know this.
Green Bay might have to be figuring out who they starter is too, bro.
Man, listen, straight up. Maybe Jordan Love out this bitch.
Man, wouldn't that be fascinating? And of course, it would be against the Saints, right? Like Jordan Love's first start.
It's gonna be interesting. What if Jordan Love just like looks awesome in the preseason?
Ooh.
So what Green Bay would be thinking? Say Aaron Rodgers holding out and Jordan Love just balling in the preseason. Like, he's just insane. He's running that fucking Shanahan type of scheme with it, doing rollouts. Like, ooh. Well, Aaron Rodgers is gonna be sweating a little bit. Like, damn.
I mean, I think at that point, if because the whole thing is like we hear is like Jordan Love's not ready, and to me, like you drafted him last year, he sat a year. If he's not ready yet, that's troubling.
That's bad.
Like, this man did not play a single snap last year. And keep in mind, he got drafted when it was like when he got drafted. No, he didn't have a full offseason, right? That's right. He didn't have a full offseason. But like, bro, like you got drafted in the first round, so did Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert went out and dominated.
Yeah.
And the GM of the Packers is like, you're not ready yet, and you sat a full season. Ooh, that is problematic.
Yeah, but how do you know it? They don't play. Like,
exactly.
I mean, he didn't even play preseason games last year, so I mean, you just don't know.
But that's an interesting you brought that up. I think if I'm Green Bay, right, and again, it's preseason, but like preseason, people act like it doesn't tell you. It can tell you a lot, man. Like, I remember watching Russell Wilson going off in the preseason.
Yeah, I remember.
And they had just signed Matt Flynn to that big contract, and they drafted Russell Wilson in the third, and he just came in and just balled.
Yeah,
bro, balled, and you just knew.
Some players just have it, man. I never forget Victor Cruz, who you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
He is his rookie season. He was an undrafted free agent, And my God, like every time I watched the Giants preseason, this dude was just jumping
Oh,
over receivers. I mean, jumping over cornerbacks, just catching everything. I'm like, man, I hope he gets cut because I want the Saints to snatch this dude. And then he got like hurt in the third or fourth preseason game or something.
that's
And
right. He did. I remember that.
he got stashed away on the injured reserve or whatever. And then he came back the next year and just dominated, took off.
That's right.
You know
I remember that. I
yeah.
remember that.
So it's like, you see, like these dudes got talent. You see it, man. You can't hide that shit. Like good players are good players.
Going back to the whole kind of, no, man, I had a point to make about like the whole lack of vision thing, but it's escaped me, so I don't even know where I was going with it. But
late, bro.
But I will say to your question, if Jordan Love balls out, I would think like a team like the Broncos would be blowing up Green Bay's phone, bro, like blowing it up,
blowing that bitch up. Like, look, man, we got these two first for you, man.
And the better Jordan Love looks, like the less leverage the Packers have honestly.
Shit, and Broncos got cornerbacks, man. Like they don't even have to put in Patrick Surtain. They could throw one of the other cornerbacks, like look, throw in a safety. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We'll throw him in too. Come get it. But I don't know. I doubt that happens. Just seems like Aaron Rodgers is gonna be there. I don't know. This shit weird. I don't know.
You think you'll cave?
I think he cave at the end of the day, man. They gonna give him some money. I'm rolling with Greg Rosenthal. Rosenthal just kind of seems like it's gonna work out. I trust Rosenthal with it, but I don't know. I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know.
He don't talk to his mama, Ryan.
Oh, fucking Earth. Wow, man.
Losing recipes.
But yeah, bro, these Saints, man, like, just prepare. Saints fans just got to prepare themselves for this season. It's gonna be interesting, at least.
Oh,
because we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be week 1. Sean suspended 2 games. Sean, Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore suspended 2 games, and Patrick Robinson and Adebo starting at cornerback
against Devontae Adams.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers returns to camp 2 weeks before game, before the season starts, and Jameis Winston been throwing picks in camp, and everybody's like wondering what the hell is going on. It could be crazy, bro. Like people just like to think everything's just gonna work out and be fine. Like we don't know. We don't know.
We don't, man.
It could be ugly.
And that's the thing. Like it's crazy to me because like Saints fans, I don't want to beat the dead horse, Reese, but I'm saying this as an example. Like people saw how football shows it's a sport, right? You see performance. We saw how bad was, and like Saints fans, not all, right? But they're just like, oh, but like he didn't have OTAs and blah blah. Yeah. He's playing out of position. He'll get better next year. How do you know that?
Yeah. Like, what are you
basing that on?
Like, what are you basing it off? Like, it's purely hope. It's purely hope.
That's it, bro. Because otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. Like, he's shown you consistently. Wasn't very good at pass blocking. Pretty decent at run blocking, but his pass blocking like sets and his pass blocking tape was ungood. So like, okay, so yeah, if he does OTAs and mini camps, like if he's not moved to center, if he's still quote unquote playing out of position, like how are you basing that he's just going to improve from year to 1 to year 2? I don't get it. I don't.
And they're not even doing mini camps.
Right. I don't know.
They ain't even do rookie camp. they had a rookie camp, but it was all like Zoom conference calls and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even even the off season, they taking it like, lackadaisical. That was another thing that kind of just stuck out there. And I'm not saying like, rookie minicamp is important. It's bullshit. They don't do nothing important. But it's just like it just kind of underscored the point. Is like I don't understand what Sean Payton is thinking. It's like he's still in this world where this team is a Super Bowl ready team that's ready to go, and he just needs to get the players on the field, get them ready to go. I don't feel like to me,
Man,
Sean Payton should.
If that's the case, like that feels like, man, he is he the like we don't know, right? We don't know if that's his thinking. But
right.
if it is,
but if
like
that's
that
his
is
thinking, it's out of touch. It's out of touch.
That is delusional.
Right, exactly. But it's like, to me, I would think like Sean Payton need to be in 2006 mode. Like, remember how crazy he was? He was cutting motherfuckers for having a fucking chair in the locker room, and
bro.
Like, he was just changing out the roster like crazy. He was, holding mini camps at a college dorm.
Traded Dante Stallworth, bro.
Traded Dante Stallworth, who was it was cold. Still had he went on to have a pretty good career before he killed somebody. But
glad you threw that in, because if you was, I was about to.
He killed somebody. But I'm just saying, like, I would have thought Sean Payton would have been like this hyper focused, like, man, I'm about to build my new team. Through no Drew Brees era, we about to start something new. But like, he's been kind of like, we'll be all right. We got a squad,
BAU, business as usual.
Business as usual over here, baby.
But that's a great point, because you feel like, and we know 100% Sean loves to prove, like, I can win with other quarterbacks. Now it's been like, I can win post Drew Brees and still show like I'm an elite quarterback or elite coach, not quarterback, excuse me. And I'm like, cool, I get that, but I just don't. Neither of us see it. And I don't know. This team feels kind of milquetoast.
Yeah, very milquetoast. Just like annoying and milquetoast,
Yeah.
What are y'all?
And like, don't get me wrong, like, CD. I love CD. Love his energy. Like, he always makes things entertaining and that. But like, and then I was watching the Saints Twitter account tweeted like this video of Demario Davis like a couple of days ago, his best plays from last season, and I was like, shit, like, is Demario like our best pass rusher? Like, like for real. Like, even last year, obviously it was Trey,
but there was that stretch when Quan came on and kind of freed up Demario. He was a terror. Like, he was just living in the backfield, bro. Just
can we not just bring Quan back on like a vet deal? Like,
come on back, man.
This man out here running. I don't care what Pete Warner timed in his 40. He is not faster than Quan Alexander coming off a torn Achilles. He's not. He's not, bro. I've seen it.
I believe you, bro. I believe it. I don't know, man.
And like, Ian Rappaport even said, like, the Saints were considering bringing Quan back, blah, blah, blah. But then, after selecting Pete Warner, like you gonna let Pete Warner stop you from bringing back Quan Alexander? Okay.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
Cool.
None. Cool. Makes no sense.
What's the vision?
That's the question I'm asking.
Watch. Quan gonna get picked up on the cheap by the Chiefs. He gonna have Chris Jones and whoever they signed from Seattle that they cut like late in free agency. That's good D tackle.
Yeah.
Because they kept Puna Ford. I can't think of who they cut. and he gonna have those dudes in front of him just clear him space and. I'm just telling you, bro. Like I know how the game goes. Like
it's so annoying, man. The Saints really. We could be wrong, man. Like things.
I would love to. Like I want if this season. Could you imagine like if this season ended up being like a 2017 season?
Yeah, like that would be fine with me.
We're like we go back to the photo, fucking Patriots game, bro.
Right.
I saw you tweet it. Hashtag fire Peyton. And you deleted it. And we just have that. Fuck, it was humid as fuck. Then it started raining and like
bricks.
Bro, I was big sweat, nigga. Fucking Alex Anzalone was. Yeah,
I remember, bro. I was sitting behind you, boy. I brought you about 4 or 5 towels, man.
Bro, I couldn't. I love Louisiana. I love New Orleans. It's like my second home. But bruh,
that shit. No outside sports bars for me. No thanks. Let's keep it inside.
Oh my god. And I just remember that play where like Alexander Maloney was trying to cover Gronk and he was like doing good, but then like he slipped and then Gronk scored a touchdown. And then they just went on this tear where they just rolled off like wins after win after win, and like it was just like this team that just surprised all of us, right? Like that was such a great, fun year. We could be like we could be wrong, and the team could end up being like that and just surprise the shit out of us. And I want people who listen to the podcast, like we are not hoping that the Saints are not good or that they're bad, right? But also as a sports fan, like again, we made the analogy kind of in the past, like, do you want to be the Bengals every year or the Texans? Like, were you good enough to make the playoffs and then get bounced in the wild card? Because then you're just like you're like the baseline. Like you're better than bad, but you're not great. Like you can't improve your team that way. And it's hard to be just in the NFL. Like it's one of the worst places to be. Either be good or either be like great or be bad. But being average.
I mean, think of like the Arizona Cardinals. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got this young, this little young, exciting quarterback, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what's going on?
I'll say this. Whatever you want to say about Cliff, and I get it. At least they trying to get him weapons. Like they getting Kyler weapons though.
Getting them some old weapons. He getting them weapons.
They drafted Nuke, right? Mm-hmm. They traded for Nuke. Sorry, AJ Green, which I think was going to be a disaster. But like they drafted, Rondell Moore in the second round. Like at least like give him reasons to fail. And I like Kyler, right? Like I think he'll be fine. But like obviously Jameis is, Jameis played like five seasons. Like he's played 5 seasons in the NFL. He's been in the NFL. He's going on his 7th season. Like we've beaten that horse to death. Here's a question that I will ask you though, because I've been thinking about it. Does Zach Bond make the team?
Man, like he feeling kind of like Stanley Jean-Baptiste, bro. Like,
does Zach Bond make the team, bro? I don't know. Like, where do you put him at?
He's not going to be an edge rusher because they like length. They like long. Like they don't want like a tweener. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want that. They don't want tweeners on a.
They said no T.J. Watts, who was a tweener in college.
Exactly. They don't want that. Don't want it. So he's a linebacker, off the ball linebacker. So where does he fit? Is he a Mike?
No.
Like I don't see that. Is he a Sam? If so, that means he plays like 10 snaps a game.
He becomes like the Caden Ellis of the Saints, of the defense.
Exactly. So what is he?
I don't know, bro. Oh no.
Tez Wilson, like,
I mean, if he can have the Tez Wilson play that he had against the Chargers that one time, like.
I remember Tez Wilson knocking the shit out of Christian Ponder in the Vikings game.
Oh, that's right.
Like, just came across the field, just bow, knocked the shit out of him. One of those few plays. Man, why when that dude Dove climbing, whatever his name?
Oh my God, blocked
that
ass.
Dude was in my mentions today, man.
What? In your? I mean, you got almost 9,000 followers, so this is not surprising.
But he don't follow me, bro. Like, I think he has a Breeze alert. Because I mentioned Breeze, I was like, look, Breeze was pretty bad last year, and I love Breeze, but he was bad last year. So, Jameis Winston can be an improvement, even if Jameis doesn't play like outstanding. If he's just good, that could be an improvement.
Oh, for sure,
Breeze.
For sure.
And Clum was like, yeah, that's not a stretch to say at all. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Get the fuck out my mentions.
This dude must have a Breeze alert. Like, how?
He got a Breeze alert. Like, what the fuck?
What a sad fucking person, bro. Sad.
You don't get the hell out of here, bro.
Oh man, no, he's been blocked for about like two years.
I keep him unblocked, man, just for entertainment purposes. Just entertainment.
Anything else ain't shit going on, but like anything else in the league that you want to head on before we get out?
Bro, it's nothing, bro. Like,
dead, bro.
Like fucking Teddy Bridge. We talked about Teddy Bridgewater 2-minute drill already. It's like it's like there's nothing going on, man. It is dry. I'm sitting there watching the Golden State Warriors versus Lakers. It's like nothing, bro.
No, at all. Until camp and all that shit starts happening. But like I only had brought up Zach Bond because that's one of the more fascinating things to me. Is like, did we just waste a 3rd round pick? Was fucking Kyrie Ford? No, he was a 4th round pick. Yeah, he was 4th round. He was a 3rd round.
Yeah.
But I don't know where Zach Bond fits in on this defense. I really don't. No clue.
I don't, man. And it's not even like a hate. It's just I have not seen the visual evidence to make a clear evaluation.
I don't think the team knows where they want to play him.
It's like I just haven't seen. He hasn't been on the field. Like when he's on the field, it's like
special teams.
Made a tackle. He's on special teams.
Like, I know he cut the hair. Just decided to let it go. Good for him. That's all I know.
I saw my dude Peyton Turner. He was at Blue Oak Barbecue.
Man, I gotta go when I go back, bro. Gotta go.
We gotta get over there, bro. We gotta get over there, man. Get a spicy chicken sandwich or something, man. That shit be looking good.
Yo, damn, bro. Every day it's on my timeline. I'm just like, oh, why am I doing this to myself?
Like, damn, that shit look good. Fuck.
But yeah, Peyton Turner's
happy as hell.
Getting acclimated to the city, which is great, man. And I kind of want to clarify something, right? The video that happened during our live stream that went viral, like that was nothing against him as a player, right? Like that was nothing against him as a person. And we weren't trying to take the shine off obviously a great moment in his life. But also too, we were not the only ones that had that reaction. Like, draft pundits and people who cover the draft in the media are also like, oh,
right.
So, just wanted to clarify that.
No, it is nothing against him at all. I'm happy to have him as a Saint, and I hope he has fantastic career. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no ill will. I don't have any ill will against any player. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no player, none.
You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it. I love it. I hope he just balls out, man. Like, and he has a chance to. He has the opportunity to. He has the talent to.
I mean,
So
he probably gonna get some opportunity because I mean I don't know if Marcus is gonna play a full season.
I'm saying like Peyton Turner, like go ahead and make them trade Marcus Davenport. Like trade him
Do it.
for a 5th-round pick, or 6th-round pick. Like just get them out of there. Go and just force their hand and say, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't need you, bro.
Yeah, like we've seen enough.
Seen enough. Like I love it, bro. I love it.
But so we're hopefully next week we can get Greg on, get on the show. I texted him earlier today. He said it's long overdue for him to come on, talk about his projected starter series, which is always one of the
Oh man,
good things.
always good.
Always good, bro. Like, and I am pretty like locked in, to the league too. But it's just good to just read, just just have that refresher.
Yeah. Like, not even Saints, man. Like you just want to just like dive into like what's going on with your other teams or whatever. Like just read that shit, man. It's like okay, that shit is good.
Are the Bucks gonna really keep Gronk, Cameron Brate, and OJ Howard, bro? Like, I don't know. I don't know, bro. I think
like throw us OJ, man. Like OJ ain't throwing shit.
no, bro.
Man,
They ain't trading to. They gonna trade to a division rival.
Like what are you losing? He ain't done shit. Shit. throw us OJ, though. That shit ain't gonna hurt y'all, man.
Right? Like y'all gonna be all right. It ain't like Tom Brady gonna throw to him anyway. Like we know who his favorite is. Like, come on, just give us OJ, bro. So Greg hopefully can come on next week. And then I know I've been saying it. Sophia, she's just been swamped with like her, papers and publications. So she still obviously definitely wants to come on, talk about black holes, wormholes when she's not, so busy that is going to happen. And then so for our raffle winners, Rod and David, I hit both you guys up in the DMs today to get your addresses. My goal is to send out the tumblers. I'm planning to pick them up on Friday and then send them out hopefully next week. And then for Jessica, who won the T-shirt, that's already shipped, ordered today, shipped. You should be getting that hopefully by the end of the month. So we want to continue to, do more of these things where we're rewarding our people, our Patreon subscribers. We really do appreciate you guys, tuning in, being fans of the show, spreading the word, all that. We can't thank you guys enough for that. And
Jessica, make sure to at Saints.
Yeah, I'll send her an email. Like added something. Like I don't even know what her ad is. Like I got her email from Patreon, but I don't know what her ad is on Twitter. She might not even be on Twitter. She may have just found. I don't know. But yeah, I'll hit her up and ask her to just once she gets a shirt, just hit add us and mention us so we can retweet it and post it. But with that, we're gonna get out of here. Ain't much shit going on. We'll try to continue to have some more episodes. Hopefully Greg can come on next week and keep this thing going. And with that, we're out.
Peace.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today. O'Reilly Auto Parts.